So this week we're going to be working on animation. So go to Google Classroom and make sure to go up to the very top of Google Classroom where it says drawing websites. Open that and open up Wik Editor. This menu may appear for you, and that means that you've been in Wik Editor before. So it means that it has a recording for you already. What you want to do is you can either load it and save it or delete it. So I would load it, and this is what my animation looks like. But I need to save it. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to come up here to the right corner and click Save. And I'm going to make sure I'm in my Google Drive. And I'm going to give it a name, which I've named my last name here. And I'm going to click Save. That saves the animation totally. So when you open it up, you will see this screen. But if I want to save it just as just the animation where I don't see all of these menus, I'm going to click Export. Make sure my name is there. Make sure I'm under Animated GIF. And I'm going to export it as a GIF. And then that should go to my Google Drive. And you can see here that it says GIF right there. And it has my name. And I may want to type turn in for this one, just so that I know I'm going to want to turn that one in. But this is because I've done one before. We'll go through this process once you're finished with your animation. So once all of that clears up and it exports and everything, you're going to want a new screen, or you may not have anything on here. But let's go up here and click on New. And we're going to say Create. And we're going to go up to this little wheel up here. It's the Settings wheel. You want to click there. You want to type over the name, and you want to make it your last name and the word art. So Caliph Art is mine. I'm going to change my background because today we're going to be making the background of the animation. And I'm going to change it to a real pretty blue. And then I'm going to change the width to be 800 and the height to be 600. And then the frames per second, that's what this FPS stands for. I'm going to change that to 5. Now you can always change that. That's the speed of your animation. You can always come back and change that later. And I'm going to click Apply. So now I'm ready for my new animation. Today we are going to create just the background, and then tomorrow we will add the animation. So if you haven't plugged in your drawing tablet already, go ahead and plug that in. And let's go over some of the things that are up here at the top. So this is our select tool, or our cursor, where we can go in and select things. We have a brush, and if you notice, it changed over here. So when you click on the brush, you can adjust the size here. And I'm not really sure what this one is, so I would not mess with it at all. And then this can apply pressure to what you're drawing. But these items here, I really would not change until you have a little bit more experience with the program. Right here, we changed the size. So right now it's a 10. So you could see that size there. If I increased it to 20, you can see how much larger it becomes. Now I don't want this on my screen, so I'm going to come way over to the right over here, and I'm going to undo. There we go. The next little icon is the pencil. It'll be a lot smaller, but you can notice you can change the size right here in this area. You can also change the color. So the fill is what fills up the area. And then the stroke is just the stroke color. So if I came here and I could change it, you can see the red here as well. This is the eraser. This is the rectangle tool. Now we're going to use that really quick. But before we make a rectangle for our land, we're going to come over here to the fill, and we're going to choose a green to fill it in green, and the same color green to draw the square or the rectangle. Then I'm going to move my mouse down here. I'm going to click and hold and try to get it even with the side there, and then let go. Here is the circle, and then we have a line tool. I would not worry about the path cursor. We have the text. We have the bucket fill. We also have the eyedropper. So if you're not sure about a color, you can click on the eyedropper and go click the color, and then it changes the color up here at the top. Over here to the side here, this is canvas options. There's the trash can. Here's copy, and here's paste, and that'll be important for us tomorrow. The undo and the redo button. And then right here, if I click here and I pull it out, I am able to see my layers. So when you click on it, it shows you the layer that you're working with, and it has all this information over here, which at this point I would not be too worried about. Opacity, though, is pretty interesting because you can make your shape down there lighter or darker. And the layers are just going to be important when we need to move things around. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw grass. So I'm going to come over, and on my stroke or my outline, I'm going to make the grass darker. Then I'm going to grab my brush, and I can see that it's way too big. Do you see that big dot there? So I'm going to turn that down to 10. All right, that's a little bit better. And I want it to be really dark. That does not look dark enough to me. Okay, I'm going to undo. So because it does not look dark enough for me, I'm going to come here and I'm going to choose a much darker color. Oh, there we go. I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my stylus and my drawing pad, and I'm going to go to the areas that I want to draw my grass. And I'm just going to draw lines like this. I may come down here and draw some interesting looking grass here. Come up here and draw some grass. Just to make it look interesting. And as you notice over here, with everything that we do, a new part of the layer is created. So here's my ground. Here's that grass and that grass and that grass. And as you can see, as I work my way up, all these different sections in the layer create the grass. Okay, now I'm going to draw the stem of my flower. So I'm going to want the brush to be a little larger. So I'm going to go 20. And then I'm going to take my stylus and I'm going to draw something like this. And I'm going to add some leaves. And then fill them in. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my color. And let's see, I'm going to go back to the little swatches, and I'm going to choose pink. And I want my outline to be pink. And I'm just going to draw a flower. And if you don't like it, you can always go undo. So I'm going to try do a little bit better here. And you can draw any shaped flower you'd like to draw. Okay, and then I'm going to take the paint bucket and I'm going to fill in the flower. And now I'm going to go back to my brush, and you should be following along with me. I'm going to go to yellow, yellow, and I'm going to put some dots for the inside of my flower here. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the pink, and I'm going to pick a little darker pink. And I'm going to change the size of my brush to be about 15. And I'm just going to come in and draw some little lines. Now I'm going to draw some clouds in the sky. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to put some lighter green lines in there. And I'm going to make this a 10. That looks good. Now I'm going to choose white because I'm going to be using, I'm going to be making clouds, and I'm going to increase my brush size to 20. And I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to, draw the letter C and connect the letter C many, many times to create my clouds. Then choose the paint bucket and fill it in. And then go back to my brush and come over here, and I'm going to go a little lower. And then choose the paint bucket again and fill in the cloud. Now there's one more thing I want to do is I do want to add a sunshine to my picture. So I'm going to choose orange and my brush here. Okay, and you see how that's sitting on top of the cloud? I'm going to move that behind the cloud. So I'm going to click on that layer and drag it below the cloud. Okay, so what I decided to do was to get my brush and choose white, and then come over and then fill that back in, because somehow I shifted my cloud. So I am just going in and filling it in. And now I'm going to draw the rays of sun. So I'm going to go back to my orange and go back to my sun here. Oh, and I don't want pencil, I want the brush. And then I'm just going to come in and just add some little rays of sun right there. Now, if you want to come in and you want to add some details, like I'm about to add some details to my clouds, and you can do that as well. We've talked about textures and things like that previously. So I'm just going to come in and add a few little details here. And you can add details around your landscape here, your environment. But once you are finished, okay, we're going to save it. So we're going to save, and we're going to call it background. So I'm going to change the name to background. Now, if you don't see this screen, let's do this. Let's come up here and we're going to do dash background. So I went up to the little settings, right up here, and I did background, and I'm going to apply it. So now when I save it, it'll say background, and I'm going to save it to my Google Drive and click save. So just in case tomorrow when you come back to add your animation, if it's not on your screen, then we can go and find it in the computer. And that is your assignment for today.